All right, let's do it. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play Paint Live. Hope you guys are having a good, what is it, Tuesday? It's Tuesday evening. Yes, Tuesday evenings. And we're painting some more Critical Role. So we are in the home stretch of this particular commission. I can show you guys, let me get you guys caught up on the last batch that we just finished. So let's go ahead and show you guys those before we move on to these tonight. Okay, so the last set was Mighty 9, and this was the one that we finished on stream. Let's see, let's refresh that. And so, and then I gotta share this. Sorry, but I'm gonna share this out to those who would care to watch. All right, so let's go. Let's go here. Let's go here. Right? We'll go like that, and then let's go into the Discord. Don't switch. Don't switch. Let's go into the War Boss Tay, I guess. Yeah. Let's go there. And then let's go into Play It Painted. My home. And let's do this. And let's jump in. Not jump in the on-air area because you never know. Because you never know. Right? Okay. There. Now that all the things are going, I can... Bleh. Why isn't it not? Why? There we go. So we'll do that. Do this here. Close that. All right. Okay. So we finished her last time on stream. We're also going to add a little thing. I don't know what this is. Like a little dark gnome thing. And then you got an orc guy. You know, look. I mean, he's got great hair for an orc. He's got tremendous hair for an orc. And then you got a little like a little satyr type thing, I guess. She's like a blue. It's weird that she would wear a blue dress with her blue skin. But hey, I didn't decide these colors, so don't yell at me, man. And you got this one. She's kind of doing an Eric B. pose, like I'm strong woman. This one here is a strong female lead. And then you got this one, who's, I don't know what she is, like a mummy or something. I don't know. And then you got this dude with the page boy haircut. I have a page boy haircut, and he has like a cat. He's got like a tiger cat. A tiger cat. This dude, look at his schnoz. Look at that dude. And then, wait. Finally, we got this dude who's like the most flamboyant of them all. Right? He is the most splendid. You can see his multicolor coat. And you can see how fun the little freehand is on the back. Fun model to paint. Fun model, folks. So that's Mighty 9. For those of you following all of the Critical Role. So we did Vox Machina and Mighty 9 so far, and we're gonna work on this last set. This is I don't think this is an actual, like, I don't think these are the player characters. These might be NPCs. I don't know. You guys tell me. You Critical Role guys tell me. Strong women, stronger than any specimens. All right. What's up? There we go. So tonight we're going to be painting. It's weird because it's like 2 characters and then a third character who has like a bunch of clones. Okay, so the character who has a bunch of clones is this guy. And he's got like blue skin. I'm not really sure what to make of this dude. But he's kind of creepy looking. And then he's got these guys. They're like Oompa Loompa blue skin guys. Oompa Loompa Loompa. So we got those guys. And then we got a cool robot. Cool robot, which I did in some color shift paint. But we'll spruce him up. We'll make him look fancy. And then we got Fancy Knight, who actually is in color shift paint as well. But it's just the colors I chose were more like standard metal colors, so they're not. So it's not as color shifty as you may have seen some of my other models. Okay, so that's what we're working on tonight. I don't know how much we're going to actually get done, but we're here to paint. You guys can tell me what's up. And I'm going to go off of some screenshots, right? So here's some screenshots of the painted dudes, and then you can see they got like blue skin, and it looks like they all have these. Do they all have nose rings? It looks like they do. They all kind of have these gold nose rings. So I think what I'm going to do first is we'll do the blue. Let's do blue skin on them, and then we'll start doing the gold and all that fancy stuff. Right? So that is what we were doing tonight. If you're just joining us, let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Yeah. It's Critical Role time, guys. Do you watch Critical Role? You have to. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Okay. Hope everyone's done with their Christmas shopping. I'm done with most of the Christmas shopping that I need to do. But there's gonna be, there's gonna be stuff that you need to get, or people you may have forgotten that you need. Do you guys do that? Do you do that? Oh shit, I forgot my cousin or whatever, and or people. It's actually people you're going to see, right? Because if you forgot somebody, and the only way to recall that you forgot them is that you're physically going to see them, or there is a high probability that you might see them, or the other instance is somebody else that you know is also sending them a gift, right? That could be a thing too. If let's say, if you're, like, for example, if I'm the boss at work and I see some of my guys exchanging gifts, then I have to take part in that. So that's always dangerous. And if you're if you're friends with somebody, and this is the weird thing, that there's a friendship. Let's just say this. Let's just call it out. There is a friendship hierarchy. There's a friendship sort of status, and if you and your friend are the same, and are roughly the same tier of friendship with a third person, and your friend buys that person a gift, well, you may be contractually obligated to buy that person a gift too, right? That's all. That's all I'm saying. So just be careful, right? Give gifts in a meaningful way is what I say. But watch out for those. Watch out for those. I forgot you gifts. I never want to I forgot you gift. Just so you know, if you forgot me, cool. I forgot you too. That's more than likely what happened. That makes me happy. Can we just agree? Can we just go public with that and say, look, I'm doing an I forgot your shit year, and you could forget mine too, and we can carry on and live our lives, right? Can we just agree to do that? There's all kinds of rules though. Gift giving has all kinds of rules, And I would just rather not play. I would rather not play. For me, gift giving is gift giving can be kind of a somewhat selfish endeavor, frankly, because you can say, you can be giving somebody a gift because you enjoy it, you want to make somebody happy, or you want to see their reaction, or sometimes, and I'm guilty of this too, sometimes the act of procuring the gift is the fun part. Does that make sense? Like sometimes you're like, oh man, this person is really into scuba diving. Not that scuba diving is expensive as hell. Not that I would ever want to just go out and buy somebody scuba diving gear, but just bear with my poor example for a second. So let's say somebody's into scuba diving, right? Your friend is into scuba diving, and you're like, yeah, whatever, you're a good enough friend. And I hope you don't say that about your friends, but you're like, oh man, this would be kind of cool because I could buy them. I could go to the scuba diving store. I have an excuse to go there and ask a bunch of questions about something that I'm tacitly interested in. And because I'm shopping for my friend, I get to learn about scuba diving. Maybe I want to go scuba diving, right? So that's kind of cool. That's where gift giving can be really kind of cool. If you're into that, If you're gonna buy me a gift and you go to like the hobby store though, and you're not in the hobby, I don't think you're gonna enjoy that experience. I don't think you're gonna, Conversely, if it's just one of those worlds that if you don't go in that world, if you're not part of that world already. Some of you may enjoy it, some of you may not. Some of your normie people may enjoy it. Some of your normie people may not. Hey, what's up? What's up, Michael? Merry Christmas to everybody. If I don't end up streaming on Christmas Day, I don't know if I'm going to. I may stream in the evening. Who knows? Who knows? It just depends on how that day goes. I probably will, just so you know, because I'll be painting some minis, probably some Star Wars Legion. I'm gonna just tell you right now, we're gonna paint some Star Wars Legion, and we're gonna talk about the Mandalorian, because we're gonna be jumping in and out while on the job. Okay. Thank you for tuning in as always. But yeah, these guys are like Smurfs, right? This guy looks like, if Papa Smurf merged with what's his name? Seth Rogen, the actor. I was in the 40-year-old virgin. Knocked up, that was me. But he's like the Papa Smurf version of Seth Rogen. Alright. I didn't say all the jokes were good, folks. I didn't say they were all good. Okay? Okay. Serious question. Your top 2 favorite cocktails. Ugh. Serious answer. I kind of hate cocktails. So yeah, let's put it into context, right? You're at a bar and you're traveling with corporate work buddies. Hey pal, we're gonna go out on the town, bro. Now that we're free, let's go do. And you go to that sports bar. You go to that sports bar across the street from your hotel, and your buddy is like, your buddy. I use buddy in quotations, but he may be married or involved or something, and he's like checking out the local waitresses. No, I'm gonna answer your question, dude, because I don't know. Because I'm gonna answer your question, but please take this entire thing in jest, because that's just me. Hey, what's up, Jason? So yeah, so you're at the sports bar that's across the street from your hotel, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because I have some experience. All right, so you're in the sports bar across from your hotel, and you don't have to drive because you don't want to drive Chet around. Okay, you don't want to drive this dude around. It was bad enough that you had to travel. It's bad enough that you have to travel with Chet, but now Chet wants to be the cool guys. He wants to be the cool guy in the bar. What are you going to order, right? Because if I was going to order a cocktail or something, if I'm in a bar by choice, I'm going to order beer. That's just me. I'm going to order a beer. I might order, if they have sake, and it's like, and I actually have cause to celebrate, which I kind of, if I'm being honest with you guys, I kind of do like have cause to celebrate. And I'll explain that in a minute. Yeah, do you need this question to get story time? Yes, good. So, but anyways, I would order, what I would normally order is I would order a beer, or like I said, if I'm celebrating, I would say, hey, do you serve sake at this bar? Because I would drink some sake. But let's say I'm on the road with Chad, right? And we're at the standard sports bar, and people are like, oh man, I'm gonna order a sour. I'm gonna order, they have their, I'm gonna order 7 and 7. You know what I mean? They got their orders, and I'm not making fun of anyone's order. But Chad, the guy that I'm traveling with, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, he doesn't know what he's gonna order, right? So he's gonna wait for me to order. This is the number of times this has happened to me in my younger career when I used to travel a lot, and I would travel with these guys that really don't get out much, right? And this is, to put this in context, this is when I was a single man and I traveled and I didn't give a shit. Like, I did not give a shit. I would find the weirdest bars. I would go to I've gotten to biker bars by myself. I've gotten to goth bars, which is actually kind of interesting, because like I that's like a side hobby for me. But anyway, what would I order, right? I guess I'm kind of boring. I would order. I guess I would just order something with vodka in it. You know what I mean? I'd just order like a screwdriver. Or because really, if I'm gonna order a cocktail, the only like hard liquor typically that I want is something with vodka. I don't really want tequila, unless there's one particular guy that I traveled with, because a Mexican dude who really knew his tequila, and he could order tequila. But even then, tequila kind of makes me an angry drunk, so I didn't. So he would order tequila, and I'd have a little sip of it. I could also drink stuff with rum, so rum and Coke. Pretty standard. I like vodka Diet Coke. I know that's boring, but so I guess my two drinks, my two favorite cocktails would be vodka Diet Coke, or rum and Coke. Yeah, that's me. I'm boring. That isn't to say that I've had lots and lots of different cocktails just to find out what I liked. And the best way for me to figure out what I liked cocktail-wise was we went to bars in the Philippines, my cousin and I, back in like 2002 or something. We would go to bars in the Philippines, okay? And you hand the bartender a $10 bill. That's like almost 700 pesos in the Philippines, right? So you hand the bartender a $10 bill, you'll drink all night. You and 3 of your friends will drink all night. And you can order, what we did was there were 4 of us, and we ordered everything on the menu. We just said, bring us one of every cocktail. And the bartenders have fun doing that too, because they like to make, at least some bartenders really have fun making different cocktails. Or you'd run into the bartender who who is in training, bartenders in training. I have a really embarrassing work story around that, where I ran into a bartender in training and did some regrettable things. But anyways, yeah, I hope that answered your question, right? Boring. Rum and Coke, Diet Coke, vodka. That's what I'd have. Back in the day, I was introduced to the Red Bull Jaeger. Red Bull vodkas are great. I love Red Bull vodkas too. Red Bull Jaeger is also an interesting thing. I kind of hate Jaeger. And again, this is a young man's game. I wouldn't touch any of this stuff these days. I am way too old. I am Danny Glover too old for this shit. I wouldn't touch any of this stuff anymore, right? Just give me a beer. All right, just give me a beer. Let me sit there. Let me nurse my beer. Let me watch all the young. Let me watch the young action because I would live vicariously through the young people and watch them. I like to watch the pickup. I do, but like you millennials don't do that shit anymore, and it makes me sad. Like there's like no game. It's just weird. I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know what the courtship protocols are, but anyway, yeah. I hope I answered your question. But yeah, if I had access to anything in a bar, I'm drinking beer or I'm drinking sake. And the best part about that is you can do both. You can mix beer and sake. It's not like mixing beer and wine. Sake is brewed. Sake is more similar to beer than it is wine. Honestly, it's called rice wine, but it's brewed like beer, and you can enjoy sake with beer regularly, frequently. You know, whatever your alcohol tolerance can take, basically. Yeah, Jägermeister. Ugh. I dated a girl once who she was a little bit younger than me. She was like 23. She was like 22, 23. And my son's in the room. But but yeah, she introduced me to that drink. And that was we'll just leave that at that. So anyway, I do appreciate the question. I like that. Sake bombs. See, sake bombs, I used to drink sake bombs, but they kind of pissed me off after a while because once I really started to appreciate sake, then I was like, I don't, right? I just want the sake now. Like, I'll just drink them. Let me drink them separately. So, but yeah, I hope that answered your question, right? I guess I'm too safe, but that's what I used to do. Is I would go with Chad or whatever when I was out on the road, and I would order that kind of stuff. And Chad would inevitably try to hit on the waitress or a female bartender. Always these dudes, all the damn time, and. But it made it entertaining for me, but I would also feel a little bit bad about it, right? For those of you that know me, yes, the cheap warm sake for the bomb. Yeah, the sake bombs are for the young folk, man. I don't do that no more. But yeah, for those of you that know me, you know that I can't in those like social open situations. I can be a little bit, especially with a little bit of alcohol, not a lot, just a little bit of alcohol, right? It just lubricates the social gears in me, and I tend to be more conversative, and I will talk to and I just like I like talking to people. Especially servers and staff and stuff. I like treating them like people. It's just how I operate. We talked about having rapport on this stream a lot. So, you guys kind of understand my nature. So I'm very likely to just strike up conversation with a server or a female bartender or whatever. But if I'm with Chad, he will do it, but he'll do it with a totally different intent. I will do it just because sometimes it's interesting to hear people's stories that, people that work in these places, especially, what I was doing back in the day, which was, you stay in a business park hotel, right? And the business park always has a little strip mall attached to it with the little bar. You go to a little sports bar, and the girls that work in those sports bars, they always had stories, and they always wanted to tell their stories, but they're used to drunken asshole Chads talking them up, so they don't actually get to tell their story. I was, I like to think, anyways. I like to think that I was a little bit better at that, so I could get their stories. And I would always get the stories of the girls that were like, most of them, and I see most in like all in probably maybe slightly over half of the girls that I've ever talked to, the servers and bartenders and that kind of thing, at these places, would tell me that they're from California originally, right? And I would be in like, Charlotte, North Carolina, or I'd be in Chicago, or I'd be in, in the Chicago suburbs, or I would be even like Seattle, Washington area, that kind of thing. They would almost always tell me that they are from California, and they would tell me where they were from in California, right? And I'd be like, well, what the hell are you doing out here? And inevitably, it was like, oh, I followed a dude out here. I always get that story. I followed a dude out here. But the reason why, like, one of my favorite things to talk about is not the dude that they followed out, but I always want to hear about, like, I want them to tell me, like, who is the most obnoxious or creepiest dude that they've run into. See, that to me is extremely interesting. I don't know. I'm like a I'm just curious about the whole social interaction thing. And these ladies have run into the creepiest dudes of all time. Like the ones that work in those sports bars that are, again, across from the hotel in the business plaza, they have run into some of the creepiest dudes ever. So inevitably, when we start talking about that kind of stuff, I would ask them, like, hey, tell me about some creepy dudes that rolled up in here. I love listening to those stories, okay? Because thirsty, creepy dudes, as you know, is a recurring topic on this stream. What if they answered it's you? I have never had one quick enough. I've never had one quick enough to say that to me. But I will tell you right now, Nelson, if one of them had said that to me, I probably would be attracted to them. Just mainly because of like how quick they are. Like if you're quick like that, that's awesome. I find that if you can be quick conversationally like that, I like that. And I like the sass. Let's face it. A lot of us like the sass. But yeah, it's you like to see car crashes. In a matter of speaking, yeah. I just want to know about it. Like what? How do you? Like what? Tell me about the creepiness. What are these creepy dudes doing? But yeah, I used to do that. Like I said, when I traveled a lot for work. I don't think I've traveled for work for a couple years now. It's been like 2 years since I've gotten on a plane for work. That's weird. When I started my job almost 20 years ago, and I was single when I started, man, I was on the road all the damn time, and I loved it. That was great because I didn't. The only responsibility I had at home was a pet lizard that you had to feed once a week. That was it. So I could be gone the entire week. And typically, if I was gone a week, I like to do 2 cities in a week. So I would like so one of my favorite trips was where I would start in Miami, Florida. So I'd start the week. I'd fly over to Miami, Florida. I would stay in Florida until Wednesday morning. And then fly from Florida. From Miami, I would fly to Chicago, and I would spend 2 days in Chicago, and I'd be home Friday night. I loved those trips. Those were awesome trips. Because I could do those totally alone. Sometimes I'd have to travel with Chad, or I would meet Chad and I say Chad in the generic term. I would meet Chad, and you can't use the word Chad anymore, right? Chad's almost a compliment on the internet. Let's call him Hunter. No, that's too controversial. Let's call him Bryce. Yeah, Bryce. We'll call him Bryce. I don't know why. Let's just call him Bryce. Or Brycer, if you're going to be... How about that, Brycer? We'll call him Brycer, because that's even worse. The only thing worse than Bryce is Bryce with Hunter put together. Brycer. That's a terrible name. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. How do you guys feel about guys named Jaden? I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I don't know either.
Do you remember that phase when I'm just totally I'm way off topic now. But do you remember when everybody around you was named Aiden, Jaden, Caden, or Braden? Do you guys remember that? That was about 10, 15 years ago. Everybody was named Aiden, Jaden, Braden, or Caden. Everybody. I don't know what the hell, where all these people went. There's still a couple of them running around. But my world, I would just run into those all the damn time. All right. But anyways, we're back with Brycer, right? So these trips, I would go, I would go to Miami often by myself, spend a couple days there. And then, then I would go meet Brycer in Chicago. And it was always in Chicago where, we'd be in the suburbs of Chicago, and, we'd hit that sports bar, and all this would come to pass. Everything that I'm telling you would come to pass. And yes, I would be, drinking my little vodka Diet Coke or whatever, watching Brycer try to pick up on Jaden. Because remember, there are girls that are called Jaden. But at that time, at the time that every dude's name was some variation of Aiden, all the girls were some variation of Kayla, Kaylee, Kylie. Those were all the same. I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, that was my old my early professional days where I would have a cocktail. Now, I was the kind of hipster, and I will fully cop to this. I was the kind of hipster that I would come home when I was single. I would come home and pour myself a little glass of red wine like a punk, and I'd break out a cigar. Okay, I'd break out one of those big ass Churchill cigars and just sit on my patio. I used to do this seriously when I was lived alone. I would do that. I would come back, just sit on my patio, break out a big ass cigar and a little glass of wine, and just sit there and smoke my cigar. And those cigars burn for hours, right? I'd be out there a minimum of 2 hours. And just be on my patio, just checking shit out, right? Yeah, that's so now you guys know a little bit about my my younger life, my younger days when I was when I was a lot more fearless in terms of what I did. I would be a punk for a glass of wine. I'll tell you why. Not that wine is bad. I've actually developed more of a distaste for wine, but I used to drink wine a lot because back then my boss, who was annoying as shit, but I traveled with him. The one thing he was good for is the dude could pick a glass of wine. Like, he could pick a wine, right? We used to travel, the three of us used to travel together. Me, my boss, and my division VP used to travel together. My job was to pick where we would have dinner. My boss's job would be the bottle of wine, and he always did a great job. But I was into wine for a little bit, and dated some girls that were also into wine. And I don't know, you just get too into it, and then you just don't like wine anymore. That's what happened with me. It was like, oh, okay, here's the types of wines I like and that kind of thing. And then at some point I was like, yeah, I don't like wine anymore. I'm just gonna drink beer, be happy with my life, that kind of thing. I give you a hipster tear for the end of that story. It is a well earned hipster tear. But yeah. Okay. So again, full disclosure, right? You did a lot of this kind of stuff because, or at least I did, is it was kind of a hook for dating. If you knew how to pick a wine, I learned that from my old boss. He was extremely good at picking wine for dinner. That is an extremely useful dating skill. At the time, that was an extremely good, useful dating skill. And so I would, so when I was dating, I knew how to pick a wine from my boss. Like, he taught me how you pair wines and what were good wines, what were not good wines, and all of that important stuff that you need to know. Right? You want to be a man of culture, guys. That's for you young dudes still out there trying to get yours. You gotta. Here's my bit of advice. All right, stop trying to run some down. Like, spend a weekend not trying to chase these little club rats down. Right? Just give it up for a weekend. And you know what? You hit up your friends that are in their 40s. You hit up your friends that are in their 40s, and you ask them, like, "Hey, man, come meet me for a drink." And you literally just do a night with them dudes, assuming you have some, assuming you have some older friends that have a little bit of savvy to them. That's all I'm saying. Because you can pick up from them. You can and you know what? Watch them talk to younger ladies. Seriously, watch how they interact with younger ladies. Now, you would have to figure out your own approach, because older men and younger ladies, older men, they don't set off alarm signals with younger ladies. They're very disarming, and their stories are they're wise, and they're full of life experience, right? And younger women love that. But it's a different thing. Like, just learn a little bit about, like, conversationally. This is my advice. Seriously, this is my advice. Like, go out and, just go hang out with these dudes with the intention of hanging out with these dudes. Don't be like, oh, I'm doing research, I'm going to pick up on the whammons. Like, don't do that. But do it. Like, go out with them and just see how they interact, see how they jive. Because, here's the thing. Nobody's, in my opinion, nobody's born with that game. Some people are great conversationalists. They're great natural conversationalists. But even those people aren't born with that sort of that game, and you know, as a young man, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes around that. I know because I made pretty much all of them. so so what I'm saying is, might be better. Spare yourself a little humiliation. Might be better just to do a little research on the side. Okay, just all right. Are we good? Okay, good. All right. I don't know if these dudes have pupils or whatever. I don't know. So all of that was just from one question. What are your two favorite cocktails? I don't know. Literally though, if I go to the bar these days, I'm just a beer guy. I'm just gonna go have a beer. So at the end of it, I was traveling when I was in my 30s and traveling, and you know, either in the serious relationship or already married. What I would still go to bars and stuff while I'm traveling, and I would still get in those conversations that I was telling you about. But I was also just like, I was also just kind of, you know, let me sit at the bar and enjoy my beer. It's a great rabbit hole. Thank you, sir. I hope you enjoyed it. But yes, those were, I don't know, those were very very fun days. Um, I remember finding the goth bar underneath the Space Needle, and how hilarious that was. Going in there by myself and having a drink in there. But the one of the wildest things is I was in Arizona, and I was actually stuck out there. Right, I was actually it was a connecting flight. I was supposed to come home, but the flight got canceled. The flight into Orange County got canceled, and you know, so I call my boss and say, "Hey, look, I'm stuck in Arizona for a night." And he's like, "Okay, cool, no big deal, right? Just find yourself a hotel, and it'll be all good." So I get into a hotel there, um, but not one too close to the airport, kind of out in the boonies. And near that hotel, there was a little biker bar. It was a cool looking bar. It was very cool looking. Again, this is outside of Phoenix, and I walk up to that bar, and it's like straight out of a movie. There's a lady, there's an older lady there chasing out these two drunken idiots, and she has a shotgun in her arms. And yeah, she's just chasing. Go on, get out of here! Like she chases them out as I'm going into the bar. And you know, the wiser thing, because I saw this all happening, the wiser thing would have been to just turn my ass around and go back to my room, right? Nah. Still, so all that happens, and I go and sit down at the bar. It turns out she's the owner of the bar. She's like, "Don't worry, them boys will be back next week. We know each other." I was like, "Okay, I guess that's sure." That's maybe she did it as a joke. Who knows? But yeah, that was interesting. And then even more interesting than that is I actually ran into one of our sales guys, not at that bar, but leaving that bar. As I was going back to my hotel room, I ran into him. And I was like, "What the F are you doing out here?" And he asked me the same thing, and I told him, "Hey, my flight got delayed. What are you doing out here?" And he just didn't say anything. So who knows what the hell that guy was doing out there. But yeah. Anywho. I was supposed to explain why a little bit of celebration is in order. Okay? This is a work-related thing. So, and I don't really like to talk details of my work on stream, but I will in this case. Okay, so most recently, my company purchased we bought another company. Okay, we bought another company, and this company is an applicator company, right? They make brushes and rollers, that kind of stuff, right? And I was I'm one of the subject matter experts in that field, and I was able to help, do all the diligence and all that stuff, and be part of the integration. I helped the company kind of shop for other companies of who we wanted to buy and that sort of thing. It was a very long process, right? But very fun, very rewarding work. And it's nice to be able to come out, publicly now that it is public that we've acquired this company. It's nice to just be able to kind of openly celebrate, being a part of that. So, so yeah. So yeah, a little cause for celebration there on the professional side, right? And had there not been a pandemic, we probably would have been traveling back and forth to this company, and I would have gotten some more road stories in. I'm trying to think of the last time I did travel for work. I can't remember where I went. I don't think it was just my normal Chicago trip. I think the last time I went traveling for work, I was in Oregon. I was in Oregon for some reason. I think so. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jason. Yeah. I was in Oregon and did some sightseeing on my own, and uh, didn't go to bars because again I'm the older dude. But I did go have sushi and had some sake with my dinner, that kind of thing. So it was good. Good times. That's all you can ask for, right? It actually got announced last week. Got announced last week. This week, it is just more follow up. This week is where people are starting to have a bunch of questions. So people are calling me a lot this week to ask me a bunch of questions about this whole thing. The funniest part about this story is that for 2 years I could not tell my boss what I was working on. Which is hilarious, right? Uh, so the president and the CFO and all that would go, hey, look, we're working on project stuff with Octave. We can't tell you about it. Sorry. That was that's what he got. And when we talked about it, I talked about it with my boss. He was like, yeah, I understand you're working on something with with the president and all that. And I'm like, yeah. I was told I can't really talk to anybody about it, including you. And he's like, yeah, yeah. So fun, a little awkward, but fun. Oh wow. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. That was just a weird email. Cool. So yeah, you know, it's exciting that is now public, and it's going to allow me to move into the next phases of that project in a public manner and really start to get the resources that I needed early on that I couldn't get because again confidentiality. But now we're cool. Now we're cool. So I'm excited. And yeah, and now we're basically in these 2 short vacation weeks, and I'm looking for games. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to game with people. So, we got to try to make it happen if we can. We try to find openings in your schedule and my schedule. Maybe we can do it. That's my hope. So yeah. Gotta look at these photos. So those guys have like weird. Okay, this dude is This dude is supposed to be blonde. He's blonde, and he has a blonde hair. Blonde hair. Is it like pale blonde? Or like yellow blonde? Let's do yellow blonde. Because his armor, I believe, is supposed to have like gold trim on it. It's supposed to be very fancy, his armor. I do like his little page boy haircut. It is quite fancy. But if you're looking at his hair and like the expression on his face, you could just pull him out of this armor and he would look exactly just like a homeless dude, basically. I don't know what that means. I don't really know what I'm saying, except that really it looks like some of his teeth are missing from from this grin. All right. Anywho, let's do some basic effect work on these. Well, hold on. We're gonna do. I want to get some of their hair down, so let's get some of their hair color blocked. Sound good? So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. We're painting up some Critical Role, people. Aw, well, it's okay, it's fine. It's fine. He's fine. But yeah. So yeah, Smurf Seth Rogen has kind of brownish hair. I'm Smurf Seth Rogen. I actually should highlight the blue skin before I do this, but I can do that after. It's not the end of the world to do that. So it looks like people are starting to get their Corvus Belli, their Defiance stuff this week, which is a game I did not back, but looks very good. It uses Aristea mechanics, guys. So if you're used to using your switches and all that kind of stuff, this game think like Space Hulk or Dungeon Crawler, if you will, like sci-fi Dungeon Crawler, with the Aristea dice mechanic in it, set in the Infinity Universe. Sounds pretty good to me. So Chris got his Defiance stuff in, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. I'll probably paint some of that stuff for him. We'll see. I don't know. I think there was that. Defiance Legong that Nelson, you may be interested in, or I may just be recalling that incorrectly. There we go. Space Hulk was one of the first games I played. Oh, wow. Space Hulk was fun. When you say you played Space Hulk, did you play the tabletop or did you play one of the video games? Or both? Because I played both. Yeah, I think there's a Defiance Legong. You may want to ask Chris or Jose to fact check me on that, right? If I'm wrong, Facebook puts up a or YouTube puts up a little square on the bottom of this video. There is not a Defiance Legong. Fact checkers believe that Legong is not. Yeah, you'll see that. Let's see. I might have found something kind of cool. You already sent you. What is the Three Kings holiday? What is that? That sounds very interesting. All right. I need to find a proper dry brush. Can we find a proper dry brush? I may have to break out a new one. Yeah, let's do that. Let's break out a new dry brush. I was going to do a video on my dry brush paints. Wait. Does this work? Ooh, this might work. I just have to clean it a little bit. That's actually a pretty nice dry brush. Yeah. Yeah, let's clean this. It's actually in very good shape. Look at that. Look at that. Still got a bunch of powder on it, but we can work it. Let's use one of our cool dry brush paints. One of these Mig Dry Brush Paints. Right? I do need to do a separate video on these because enough people have asked me, "Hey, can you explain these Mig Dry Brush Paints to me?" It's still dry brushing, guys. It's not terribly difficult. I'll do it anyway. Okay. Now what you could do it this way and just get it off the lid, right? Because look at that dry brush paint. See how thick that is? Thick and weird, kind of. But what you want to do with your dry brush paint, get yourself a little rag, and you're going to remove. We always say like 90% of it. You want to remove like 90% of the dry brush of the paint. Right? It should almost look like there's nothing on the brush. Some people usually stop there. I think that's a mistake. You should really keep going until there's almost nothing on the brush. Okay? If you're doing what is called a true dry brush, we're not doing an overbrush. We're doing a true dry brush. Okay, and there is a difference. There we go. Okay. Cool. Let's do that. You check here on your hand. This is a trick that a lot of dry brush people do, is you dry brush on your hand and you want to be able to see that white. You want to still be able to see the cracks in your skin, right? It's not going to fill the cracks in your skin, but it's going to leave a little white there. All right, so we're ready to go. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to just catch an edge highlight on this dude. Had to pause for 12 minutes to do work, catching up now. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so here we go. Okay. And this is what a true dry brush should look like. It shouldn't look like you're really doing much at all at first. Right? You want to build this up kind of slow. The worst thing you could do is leave big globs of paint. Okay? What I'm trying to do is build up these edges so that when we wash them and we add detail to them, it looks nice. And we get all this edging and we get all this detail in. Looks pretty good. Okay. So far so good. And then let's also do Robot here. But Robot has these big flat areas, so I got to be careful with the big flat areas. I don't want to have too much, so I'm really going to kind of aim at that. I'm going to aim at the edge here of the leg, right, of these two plates. I want to get that edge. See that edge right there? I want to get that. Right. I should also point out I have not gone back and added any more paint to this brush. Okay, dry brushing is a very fine art if you're doing it right. The reason why pro painters will tell you not to dry brush is because most people do it wrong. And they're trying to save you by just telling you, just don't do it at all, buddy. I don't trust you one bit. Okay. And the goal, once again, edging. Edging is the goal. Well, you can see I just happen to be getting the little quill there, the feather on the quill, and it's actually looking pretty good. See the detail on the armor? It's starting to look nice. Getting those edges, dude. Looking good. Okay. Now I don't know if this guy's supposed to be copper or gold. That's going to affect, or I'm sorry, brass or gold. That's going to affect how I wash this dude. Because I do not know. Right. Okay, looking pretty good. Let's do another pass on this guy because he's got so much little ornate stuff going on. Right? I am secretly Sir Hobo. That is some fancy armor though, for real. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to wash off the remaining paint on that dry brush. Dry brushes will tend to get paint trapped in them for long periods of time, so wash them out real good. Okay. He's all show. Oh yes, it's another one of those characters. I love poser characters. I love posers. I love poser characters. They're the best. They're the best. All the bravado guys, best characters. Okay. So now I'm going to paint in some of the gold trim, right, to make him look a little fancier. And all I'm going to do really is just hit it with some Nasdrag yellow. And it's going to, you'll see that the detailing should look pretty good on it. All right. Especially with that edge highlight in. Okay. See? So now all that really fancy filigree. Dude, he's so cool. I am the fanciest knight. Literally a poser. Yes. one of my fellow streamer friends was building a Frostgrave crew, and he said, "All right, what kind of equipment do you want on your guy?" Right? He was building these from North Star sprues, like knight sprues, warrior sprues, and I said, "Give me the biggest armor, and give me a giant heater shield, and give me a crossbow, a lance, a dagger." Like, I was asking for a bunch of completely incompatible stuff, right? So he looked like he could have been part cavalry, um, part of the archer corps, um, and all this stuff. And my buddy's asking me about it. I was like, what does this guy mean? I'm like, well, I want this character to be a battlefield poser, meaning a guy who just basically scavenges the battlefields. He doesn't, he cowers when the real fighting happens, but he'll come after the battle and just pick all the nicest equipment up and walk around in it like he's actually accomplished something. Now, if he would be easy to spot by somebody who actually has been in real combat because his gear would not make sense, but it looks super fancy, and it looks like he is the veteran of a lot of wars and that kind of stuff, but he's really just a poser. So that was my character. I said I want to be a battlefield poser. Okay, so you can see the gold trim's coming in. It's looking pretty good. The Golem robot is there to write down all of his exploits for a biography. This guy is amazing. Best character. Is his name Aiden, Braden, Jaden, or Caden? So you can see, now it's starting to look like he's got, see how the contrast paint allows the metallic to show through? So it looks like, it actually does look like, we stopped and painted in all this gold, but we're full of shit. We just did this. We just did this. Oh, that fancy gold filigree. He is pretty awesome, this dude. We can even go like this and just make it, just go full bore, dude. Okay. Pretty good. Tyrion Darrington. That's a hilarious name. Tyrion Darrington. That's funny. All right. Okay. Dude does have pretty sick armor, though. Right? It's 100% Beskar armor. But he's a stolen valor guy. Alright. Okay. Pretty cool so far. Alright. Now let's do robot. Okay. Would you prefer him to be gold or copper? Because I can go from, you could see, I could go either way. I could go either direction. So let me know. I'm down either way. Gold might, actually gold's kind of good because he kind of has a green, the color shift. You can see it kind of shifts to green. So Beskar. Yeah, you can see. So for this, what I'm going to do is I actually want to thin down the, maybe I have a good, instead of using a contrast paint. Here you have a nicer color for this. Get this yellow is too yellow. That sounded slightly racist, didn't it? This yellow is too yellow. Let's just, I just want to look. Can I just look? Let's just look. So fashion. Let's see if this, I'll just do an inconspicuous part to see if this yellow is too yellow. It's not terrible. It's pretty bright gold. It's a pretty bright gold if I wanted to go that way. Yeah, it's not bad. You know what I could do? It's kind of a waste with the color shift, but I could blend it down to colors that I like. So fashion. That's a really, really nice, like how clean of a gold do we want this to be? Should this be a super, super bright clean gold, or should it be, should it have some burnish to it? Because this does not, you can see this is not harming it one bit to paint it this color, and then I can fade down as necessary. Actually kind of nice. Look at that. Got kind of a C-3PO thing going. Ijuta! These backstories and fluffs makes me want to follow their RP. Look at this Ijuta. Ijuta. How rude. But you see how you could use inks and stuff to kind of... Oh, he's super clean? Okay. See, I had to know what Boba Fett. Are we super clean Boba Fett, or are we, you know, newly recovered armor Boba Fett? That's what I needed to know. Okay. There you go. You can see. Ichuta. I will give him just a little bit of shadow, but I don't want to take away too much from the super clean gold look. There you go. Ichuta! So you can see, kind of two different ways you can get gold, right? If you want more control, you can use the contrast paint. If you want a broader functional tint, use the wash. Okay, okay. All right. Now, actually, let's put a little bit of, let's get the leather belt here underway. So I'm just gonna add a little white right there, right? Because I want that to take up some brown. So I'm gonna put a little white right there. Okay, and basically any place where he's got leather. We're gonna do this. Okay, pretty good. All right. So now, now I want to add shadow to this. The actor for this poser knight is a comedic ass. He's my favorite when he plays the original character. All right. So now we're gonna add some shade to this. and we're going to do ash black, okay? Right, and I'm just trying to get, some shadow. And you can see it's bringing back some of that color shift. So all you're really trying to do here is accentuate the differences between the lightest and the darkest parts of the armor. That's going to help everything seem a lot deeper, a lot more realistic. Look at that, Ichuta. Right? Some people will sit there and literally try to paint all that filigree in, and they may rethink their life and possibly give up the hobby forever, right? We are not those people. We are here to prove to Ichuta right. See how nice that is? It just gives it, now you've got all this like sweet depth to go with your fun filigree and your fun highlight. And Battlefield Poser is even cooler. Yeah, that's just a great, the detail on this is fantastic, right? Don't tell Jason that we didn't spend 70 hours getting all the filigree painted in. Took forever, man. And we're gonna do. All right. Then we're gonna do the leather here. Actually, I want it to be lighter. Let's do snake bite. Or Gorgruntifer. Let's do Gorgruntifer. Right, folks. That's why I say we trust in the process. There we go. Yeah, this guy does look pretty sick though. I could see like maybe he's actually an actor acting, and he just looks the part. Pretty good. I can see why you're all into it. All right, so we got that. Now, this gold still needs a bit of character. Even though we're going super bright gold, we're going to give it a little bit of character, okay? A little light rust. I know it sounds terrifying. I know. But just don't worry. Don't worry. You're worrying. All right, here we go. A little bit of light rust. Right there, right? See, just in there. It's not too bad. Right? We just want to be able to see all the different parts of the dude's armor. Okay? So basically, gonna enter this in all the shadowy bits, all the bits that are in the crevices and the whatnots. Right? Still bright, shiny gold, guys. Still very shiny gold. Okay. Next question. Does this book, does the cover of this book have to be blue like the art? Or is there a specific color it needs to be? I mean, blue isn't bad, don't get me wrong. It'll look just fine blue, but if there's another color you would prefer what the book looks like, let me know. And the backpack, he had the backpack blue also, and I just don't know if I don't know if I subscribe to that. Right? But now, as you can see, you got just a little bit of shade in there, and it's looking pretty cool. Looking pretty cool so far. With a little bit of shade. Another thing to point out, you can see how that dry brush, the edges still stand out. Yeah, the cover of the book. While you're figuring that out, I think it looks like he has blue eyes. I'm going to use a fluorescent blue. There you go. Got a little bit of eyes. Still, and I want the eyes to just have a little bit of swing, wing, wing on them. Just a little tiny little bit of swing, right? So that you can, so that the eyes are kind of prominent. There you go. Okay. And we can also do we can get the page. There's certain things we can do while you're figuring that out, right? We can do the page here, right? We can do those pages. I'm just doing a little skeleton horde there, right? And then we can do the sleeping bag, right? The bedroll, which the bedroll should probably be, I'm thinking Agaro's Dunes. Cover could match the eyes. Okay. the blue is actually kind of nice, right? I could just continue the blue here because the bedroll is not going to be blue. It'll be this color, which does kind of fade in with the rest of the robot a little bit, but we'll fix that. But conversely, his bedroll should be like that color. All right, but we're gonna go blue. We're gonna go blue. I like blue. Okay, and then let's do. It's pretty good. Oop, screwed up. Screwed up a little bit right there. Must fix. There we go. All right. So a little bit of blue there. I'm still liking blue or green. Maybe green, like a military green. As I am in the military. None shall question my valor. So let's do that. Green. Yeah, I like this. Right? So it's not like a big prominent blue thing on his back. It just looks like a regular old military backpack. It's not authentically important. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. You can see where I'm going here. Now, if I want, I can even push this shade a little bit further and go into black, but I do not recommend that. The only other option here would be to add a little red into this mix, but I don't recommend that either, because we're going for super gold, right? We're going for stay gold pony boy gold, like that. Okay, and actually, yeah, he's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Oh. Let's add this green here. There we go. There we go. All right. Cool. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty good, man. I think they're looking pretty good. Get the detail on the feathers. Okay. Yeah. Pretty happy with that so far. This dude, pretty happy with him. Let's give him a little more shade where, so you can just make out a few more different details here. It's nice. He's nice. Right? Okay. So I guess the final thing we're going to do tonight is I want to do all the blue skin on these guys before we call it. Whoa! Don't. But as you can see, you know, a couple of meetings tomorrow, and these guys will be all done. So, should be able to meet up if you would like to meet up and get these tomorrow night, sir. Could totally do that. And let's highlight there. Ooh, sorry about that. All right. Whoa. Blue skin. How does one highlight blue skin? There's a specific color I use, which isn't my favorite name. It just, you guys tell me if there's a bad connotation here. I kind of read it as one. Morning after blues. Kind of, the kind of a bad connotation there. All right. So morning after blues as a highlight for Smurf Seth Rogen. You got to be careful not to over apply this highlight because the skin will just end up looking white if you overdo it. Just like there on the tip of the ear. Right, you want a little bit of it, but not too much. Just enough to convince you that there's a face under all that. Right? Nice, nice, nice. Someone worshipped that name. Workshopped. Someone workshopped that name. They did. Somebody did workshop that name. You know that there's a department at my work that all they do is they come up with the colored names. And every time I tell a female, you know, where I work, they always say, "Oh, I would love to be the person who comes up with the names of the colors." That's the job. That's like the dream job for a lot of these ladies is they want that. Right? So you got to be kind of sparing with this highlight. But as you can see, you do it right, it looks pretty good. Heads up, Darth Torlin. Not this guy. Yeah, don't watch this guy. He's painting Smurf Seth Rogen 4 times. All right. There we go. Cool. Cool. Right? Doesn't have to be much, guys. Just enough to convince you, hey, that's skin. That's it. All you're trying to do. All you're trying to do. And in fact, I'm overbrushing this to give you a little bit of texture. Because skin can have a little bit of texture. So you don't need to use this fancy dry brush paint for this. Just use that Morning After Blues. And it's going to look pretty good. To Pumat Sol, a wizard who has copies of himself. See, I knew Darth Torlin would know this Critical Role stuff, as I do not watch Critical Role. I don't watch Critical Role. Okay? Pretty cool. I got about 10 minutes before we call this stream. I can still do some colors in 10 minutes. Hold on. We can get the base robe colors down. Let's see. Oh, this dude has like all kinds of gem work too. Maybe I should work on that. And he has like red. Okay, hold on. So he's kind of got like a burgundy undergarment, which I can affect right now. And then he's got a bunch of gems, which should be pretty fun. So we can do the blue gems and stuff on him. Let's give him this little burgundy, because he's literally wearing fancy pants underneath this armor, right? So all of his undergarments are going to be burgundy, but you don't really see too much of it. Right? You see a little bit right there. That's about it. You don't see too much of it. All right. Okay. Let's prep for bling. You don't use normal white for this. You use your handy dandy under white or glacier blue for this. And I don't want to use pure blue for the gems either. I want them to be a slightly more interesting color. Okay? Just slightly more interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's bling out this guy's armor. Should be fun. Definitely right there too. That should be all bling right there. There we go. Right. And then any other bling that I could be missing? Maybe right there. That's about it. I'm going to do a very sharp edge highlight right here. To kind of further accentuate what's going on there with his leg armor. Okay. Yeah, looks pretty good. He should probably have a gem here on the hilt of his sword. Wait, missing. Oh, definitely more gems there. Here. Okay. All right. So we're not going to go straight blue for this. We're going to go, if I can find it. Dude, maybe I can't find it. No. We're going to do Arcillian green. For this, and this is going to look more like a, it's going to look more like a turquoise color. Okay. But I think it, you can see it's going to offset really nicely. There. So you can see the bling coming in there. And that's looking pretty nice. Okay. One last thing to get here is this crest right here in the helm. There we go. There. That looks pretty proper bling there. Okay. All I want to do now is just a few white dots. Just a few white dots, not much. Right? Just to sell you the idea that that's a gem. Even though it's super tiny. Right. And you don't have to do this for every gem. But it does help. You just don't want to cover the gems with the white dot. You just want that white dot to be there. It's like your friend. Oh, now see, I may have gone a little too big. Oh, too big on that one too. So I have to fix those. This one is good. That one's good. One on the sword. Good. Right? Okay. Yeah. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty good. Let me just fix those ones where I did the white dot too high or too much. There we go. Okay. And let's clean that up. Okay. Looking pretty good. He's pretty bling. Dude is looking pretty, he's pretty blinged out. Still gotta, let's give him a little bit of highlight in his hair. This guy's gotta be fancy, right? He's the real deal. He's gonna be the fanciest of the pants. You know? He's gotta go to the strip mall with the sports bar across from his hotel. He's gonna go hit up some waitresses. You'll see. You'll all see. Alright. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. He's a fancy pants. How are we doing here? This guy's looking pretty good. You know what I'm gonna do though? We're gonna make even his robot is gonna have some cool fanciness to him. I mean, don't worry, I'm not gonna get too carried away. Hold on. Where's my... So Chet, yeah. But here's what we're gonna do. These little fancy details, guys. That's what this is about. Let's do fancy details. All right. We're gonna make it look like this little robot here is writing. Is like writing out a novel. Right. So you know how that first letter is often encased in a bright red case like that, right? So we'll do a bright red case like that, and then we'll get some. Oh man, still going at it tonight for these. Oh, we're gonna call it here pretty soon, Chris. But so I'm gonna put in a letter there, and then here, and then we're gonna scribble in some text here, right? Not much, just enough to, right? It's just enough to make you believe from far away that he's writing all the exploits of his homeboy. Okay? All right. Looking pretty good. I still want to go a little bit darker on the gold. I know it's supposed to be super bright gold. I want to go a little darker, just a little bit, guys. Can I go a little darker? So do you think if I go too dark, it will look dingy? Can I? I want to go a little bit darker because this doesn't look natural yet. I want to just go a little. I'm just going to go a little, guys. Just a little. We'll just try it. Just in the deep shoulder pads, in the pauldrons. Great. That's all I'm doing. Just going to go. You may not even be able to tell that I've done this. Yeah, but no, you can actually. There you go. See, I don't want that to look like there's, maple syrup in there. I want it to look like there's just a little bit of dirt. There's just a little bit of shadow in there. See how it just kind of looks like maple syrup because it's way too clean. Let's bring that down a little. That's all. That's all. See? That's all. That's it. That's it. When I didn't dynamically change the robot. It's just a little bit dirtier. That's all. Chris, hit me up for days if you're taking any days off and you're looking for games. Please hit me. I'm sorry. This applies to anybody. It applies to anybody. If you're looking for games during the holiday, let me know. We'll make it happen. Right? We got to take advantage of these times, people. Okay. There we go. I like this a lot. I like All Ruined. Thanks, Tori. Darth Torlin, sorry. There we go. Let's give a little, I think I have a nice little dark green I can use on the backpack. Maybe you build fast enough to find Sunday. Sunday. This Sunday's gonna be a little unusual. I need to go visit my brother in the morning, maybe in the afternoon. Maybe in the afternoon. Might be able to work something out there. Ooh, look at that. Fancy. Fancy. Look at that. Okay, I like him. I want to play Relic Knights? Not yet. When the stuff comes in, we are going to play Relic Knights. I'm just gonna own up to that. Yes, when the stuff comes in, we are gonna play some Relic Knights. All right. Well, so technically, 2 out of. You can do the other week. Okay, cool. I don't know. I might be able to swing a little bit on Sunday. We'll see. So 2 out of the 3 characters are looking pretty good, right? The third character is just this guy with all of his clones, which is it's just a little batch paint. It's really not a big deal at all. All right. Okay, guys. So that, yeah, we're gonna let this dry. But I mean, you can see that's where this guy's gonna be. I really like. I think the eyes are nice because they're standing out. And against all this gold, it's a little tough to stand out, but I think it looks good. And then this dude, looking pretty cool. So, all right, guys. So with that, I think we're going to call it to a close. I got to wake up in 5 hours, and you know what I do. So that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good night, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.